Hello, partners. Please, can you hear me? Please, can you say okay in the chat? Okay, guys. We will wait a little. I think we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes more, then you start the presentation. Okay, if you want to have a coffee, take some water, please do it now, and then we start the presentation. Okay, now before we get started, I would like to make a quick housekeeping announcement. This session will be recorded, and the recording will be made available for on-demand viewing after today's webinar. If you face any audio or video issue, please post your query in the Q&A panel and one of my team members will address it. Firstly, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Fabiano Veronesi. You can call me Fab. I'm based in Perth, and I am the D365 BDM for Australia. Anytime you need support, you can call me or send me an email. I can work with you in all business apps deals, business plans, strategies that you need. Today, sharing the webinar, we'll have Sun Prince. He's the solution architect for APAC based in Sydney. He is our D365 guru or master Jedi, supporting all D365 practice across Australia and APAC. Please listen to our presentation very carefully, as we will have a surprise question at the end of the presentation that will allow you to win lunch vouchers from us. The winners will be communicated via email. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see the agenda for our Better Together series part 3. In today's agenda, we will cover the following topics. Firstly, building a profitable business plan for Dynamics 365. I will cover this topic and others will be covered by Sunny. Secondly, top 7 best practice to scale your Dynamics 365 offer. Third, how to differentiate and verticalize your solution. Fourth, 2021 best business scenarios to demonstrate Dynamics 365. In a general business plan, a company needs to think about a lot of goals like strengths, weakness, business model, marketing planning, strategy, finance, people, compete. In a business plan for referral partners, we have basically 4 goals. It's a simple path. In the first goal, you need to identify the business application that suits you. You need to identify what is the solution that you must learn first. We have different kinds like dynamic sales, customer service, marketing, operations, e-commerce, HR, Dynamics Business Central, Power Apps, and Power BI. How to define it? Firstly, you need to understand in which market or industry you are playing, how your customer portfolio looks like. It's very important because you will find your first customer at your customer base. Example, if your customers are SMB or mid-market, your preferred solution will be Business Central, Power Apps, and Power BI. The second goal is get trained. After you define the solution that you want to work with, you need to develop a training roadmap. You need to invest time to train your sales team. For these guys, you have free training at Microsoft Learning. They need to focus on the fundamental courses like D365 MB 920, and Power Platform Fundamentals, and PL 900. We can help you to define it, and we also can invest with you in your team to reach the certifications. If you want to save time, you can hire a D365 professional from the market, or you can use our partner-to-partner program. In case you decide to use our elite service provider partners, we can introduce you for all of them. Some of them can work in a white label contract. In the third goal, you need to target the right customers. When you have developed the pitch and you are ready to offer the solutions, you need to identify the vertical and segment where you will invest your time and money. As I told you previously, in my personal opinion, your first opportunity will be at your current customer base. Because when you talk about Microsoft business applications, we are talking about cross-selling. We believe the verticals where you already have a relationship or the segments that you know are growing in your region can be the first target with a low investment. When you define it, you need to have access to the data and define the campaign to reach these customers. We will cover it in detail in our third topic, how to differentiate and verticalize your solution. Bring the dynamics experts to the opportunity is our fourth goal. Our elite service provider partners can help you to deploy and maintain all business application solutions that your customer wants. They can be your dynamics expert, Power Platform expert, Power BI expert. They will help you with pre-sales, sales, and post-sales. They can work with you in a white label model, or they can be contract direct by your customer. Usually, partners ask me if they can trust on these partners. I can tell you, yes, you can trust. But how it works? How can I find these partners? It's simple. You only call me or Sunny or send an email to us. We'll set up a meeting with you to discuss your case and talk about our ESP partners, and in sequence, we define a short list. Based on the short list, we will set up an introduction meeting with you. The business model will be defined by you. Usually, the license margin and rebates stay with the referral partners and the service with the ESP. In some case, the ESP also pay a commission based on the service. Now you already defined your ESP partner, you need to accelerate sales and go to market. Take a look at the benefits of building a high volume offer with Dynamics 365. It will help you to accelerate in the market. For a customer looking for a business application solution, your focus should be how to meet their needs of fast implementation, low customization, low price, and remote services. Today, more than ever, in a COVID world, customers are looking for a cloud-based solution and low disruption. Your company is a trusted technology advisor for modern workplace or Azure that provides services at a fixed time, fixed cost, and fixed scope to provide maximum benefits to your customer. Your ESP partner can support you with Dynamics 365 bundle offers that you can sell to customers in the same format. To accelerate the time to market with a compelling value proposition, lower customer acquisition costs, a short sales cycle, and above all, high customer satisfaction. A standardized methodology and a tool set help you build a high volume offer that benefits you and your customers. You can have access to these offers through your elite service provider at Ingram Micro. Margins from product resell are shrinking. Partners who focus entirely on product revenue have the biggest barrier with a typical margin of 4 to 10%. This is because the margins in some cloud solutions are too competitive. But with business application, it can be higher, minimum 15%, because you add value to the end customer. Project services drive a margin of around 35-45% gross margin. Next, in line that flex more margin is through the managed service, which is 45-55 gross margin. And then is the package IP that often exceeds 65%. This is the most popular one because that creates a recurring income. Sunny will talk more about IP in sequence. You know you are not a developer company. No worries. You don't need to be a software house to develop an IP. Important thing, when you see these numbers, you see the way that you need to follow to thrive. The first wave was Office 365. Second wave was Azure. The third wave is business application. You will find the best collaboration at Microsoft platform using Dynamics 365. You don't need to be a business application partner, but you need to know how to pitch, and you need to develop your partner ecosystem through Ingram Micro Partner to Partner program. Let's talk about a practical example because you need to understand where the money comes from when you sell. In this case, a referral partner identified an opportunity and worked directly with an Ingram ESP partner. He identified the opportunity, aligned with the ESP approach. The ESP supported the deal with the pre-sales architect. In sequence, they define the solution and the project service. The customer accepts the offer and the referral partner ordered to Ingram Micro Cloud Marketplace. At the first year, as you can see in the slide, the referral partner received 15% margin, 4.75% basic rebate, plus 20% new customer add rebate if it is a new D365 customer. In the majority of the cases, that is the case. In the second year and in the following years, the partner will receive all margins except the new customer adds. All rebates will be paid 60% direct credit and 40% in co-op marketing. That is a basic example for an SMB customer opportunity. There are a lot of money on the table. We need only to find the opportunity and bring it to us. All pre-sales, sales, and post-sales will be done across the program. Now, I will handle the presentation to Sunny Prince.
Hi guys, Sonny Prince. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Just a quick comment in the chat panel will be helpful for me to understand if you can see my screen, and we can move forward from there. Okay, cool. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, guys, in whichever part of the world that you are in and joining our webinar. A warm welcome to every one of you. My name is Sunny Prince, as Fabiano mentioned earlier. I will be talking you through the rest of the slides based on the topics that were aligned in the agenda. So moving forward. Okay, so the first agenda which I'll be covering is the top 7 best practices to scale your Dynamics 365 offer. So here we are talking about some of the best practices that drives a high growth for Dynamics 365 business practices, or some of the building blocks that lead to a successful business growth. Now, you must have heard about some of the top performing partners around the world that we have, and what we have learned is that there are 7 core principal criteria based on which a partner is able to successfully onboard new customers, often at a scaling level, and then systematically they accelerate their entire cloud services. So we will be walking you through this entire core principles. So almost all cloud partners globally must have developed some form of cloud practices, is my understanding, where the bulk of their revenue is generated in the form of delivering services, which can be in the form of on-premise to SaaS, where they are having a migration of a legacy system to SaaS initiatives. They might be involved in cloud project that came from customer referrals, or they must have received leads and opportunities from vendors like us, or even from Microsoft, or they might have generated leads or organically, and they're involved in greenfield implementations. Now, despite the ongoing change in customer buying pattern, especially after the COVID, what we have seen is that many partners are struggling with the new customer cloud acquisition, not because they lack in skills or expertise, but because they fail to follow these 7 building blocks that you are seeing on the screen that lead to a successful business app cloud growth. So whether you are a Dynamics 365 MSP or ISV or SI or a CSP who is just selling Dynamics 365 licenses, the core principle does not change. So if you are into implementing or providing services or managed services or just selling licenses, there are certain things that you have to bear in mind, and that is exactly what we are going to brief you about. Now, what we need to build is a scalable, repeatable customer acquisitions engine, right? So the first one is leadership commitment. The foremost thing to drive a successful practice is leadership commitment. And what I have seen is that Salesforce relies 60 to 80% on renewals and existing customer to achieve targets, and only 20% effort is put in new customer acquisitions. Now, in order to change the ratio, you need a proactive initiative and a little bit of, I would say, some organizational restructuring and investment from the leadership. So customer acquisition becomes a priority when there is a clear, defined KPI and success metrics by executive accountability. It becomes much easier and have a clear vision when it is included in business reviews and business plans. And there is a dedicated salesperson that you need, or a team who is incented or rewarded for acquiring new Dynamics customers. And all these plans and support needs to come from the leadership. And that is why I have emphasized and have put leadership commitment is the first point in among the core 7 principles of developing the business practice. Second is the cloud customer journey. Now, under that, with a clear leadership commitment, the second is customer cloud journey, and to figure out what your focus is going to be. Here is where you need a deep understanding of your customer cloud journey, which is very difficult to understand if you are selling everything to everyone. So I have seen partners covering the entire Dynamics 365 portfolio to deliver everything, and which means the focus is everything comes down to focus, which means focus is everything. You cannot have a salesperson selling both high volume and low value, and low volume and high value customer acquisitions. Just think about it. So they are completely different beasts altogether. You cannot just pick, let's say, enterprise level orders just because they offer heavy value, unless there is a strategic priority to it. So talking about Dynamics 365 portfolio, you need to ask yourself as a partner, what are those practical, impactful workloads in the cloud? Which workloads will carry the least risk, that will get you early wins, help you deliver measurable business value? Which workloads will allow you a continuous recurring monthly income? And that is the most critical thing. And there are a few partners who have a comprehensive plan on the end-to-end digital transformation or project delivery, and customers are kind of forced to engage with multiple vendors because the scope of work that they receive from the partner is very narrow. So if you have the specialization or vertical knowledge, you will have a long-term relationship to deliver all the projects, and that is what we are emphasizing. You need to have the right focus. So the third one is practice roadmap. So here is where you map your expertise with customers, okay, with the customer's cloud journey. So adding a new customer to simply sell licenses versus convincing them to consume the license to implement Dynamics 365 business app at a rate that drives business values is completely a different task. And that is my next point that simplifies this for you. So under cloud offers, now cloud offer development is a big category, right? This includes the underlying solution or the IP that you're delivering, that can mean different things for different partners. So just to put that into perspective, for example, an MSP, for an MSP, it means purely managing a Dynamics environment that supports, versus for a Dynamics service provider, it means implementing projects with pre-configured industry-specific, let's say CRM or ERP system that also includes support for a single monthly subscription fee, right? But in practice, a cloud offer can be a combination of, let's say, your IP, which can be in the form of an add-on or plugin, plus Microsoft Cloud Services. And usually they're all bundled together as advisory solutions, implementation hours, or managed services. So that is what offer development is. And you can assemble anything you want, and you can also be creative to mix and match the pricing and margin. So the best part is customers prefer them because they are outcome based, they are fixed cost, there's a fixed timeline, which I would call rapid implementation, and customers get exactly what they sign up for. So ideally, you should have multiple offers for a same solution. So for if you are selling, let's say, Power Apps or even Business Central, which is the accounting software for the medium-sized businesses, then my advice would be come up with 3 options. Come up with an entry point, that is the first option. And the second can be your sweet spot, which is what you sell most often and which is the most popular. And then the third can be a premium option. So this creates the highest lead conversion. And I find this is a very effective approach when it comes to fast tracking your selling and with immediate results. So mapping out your customer cloud journey will give you the clarity on what the customer needs are, and based on that you can offer such solutions that match. Now that you have all the bundles in place, Now it's time to communicate it to the world, right? So it is through marketing. We don't go around hunting prospects, but they find us these days. And as a result, marketing has become a critical element in customer acquisition, unlike in traditionally the way it used to be structured. So when you are selling dynamics, you must understand that the buyer is looking for a completely different partner, unlike 10 years what a traditional partner used to look like, right? And so today's buyer is smart. They have the means to investigate extensively online before even reaching out to you. They need solutions and value in delivery, especially if they are biased towards a specific product or resistant when it comes to moving from on-premise to cloud. So you need to have the right value proposition, which has to be clear with the with the why, explaining the total cost of ownership. So you need a predictable inbound marketing motion, focusing industry verticals and specific customers. So you need three things to drive your marketing motion into success. A solid number one is you need a solid marketing engine. A marketing engine can be the processes, the business model, the software that helps you drive the marketing outbound propaganda. The second is you need a digital engagement strategy. And the third is a clear value proposition. So think about this. When you campaign about your expertise in doing everything, prospects will definitely visit online to check your website to validate your capability. And when they see there is nothing specific, they will quickly disengage because there is nothing in line to what they are looking for. So if I'm a prospect and if I'm looking for a solution to my let's say if I'm coming from an educational background, I will be looking for a solution that is delivered that is skewed and inclined towards the educational industry. So the easiest and fastest way to credential your unique capability online is through industry vertical specialization. So focus is the key to lead conversation, and lead conversation is the key to healthy sales pipeline. So that is what I'll be talking in my next slide. And then sales repeatability. So now with a healthy lead flow that you're generating through marketing, you need a modern sales motion, one which is capable of collecting customers remotely and scale them. Now, closing a big deals is good, but in order to achieve an accelerated customer acquisition, you need to have smaller bite-sized projects that lead to larger transformation initiatives. One of the best practices that we consistently has seen across the fastest growing Microsoft partners with high net new win rates is the definition of packing and positioning of business focused advisory services. The second best practice is in having a repeatable accelerated sales motion that is focused in positioning these advisory services in every single sales opportunity. And the final is to have a dedicated salesperson who is more focused in acquiring more customers than just selling services. And so the last one is about optimizing your services. Now, cloud services that are fundamentally designed to deliver customer value, right? You need to come up with a service delivery strategy and approach. You need to fine tune how you're going to deliver your services, and that is all about optimizing your services. You have to come up with new offers during the delivery that matches customers life cycle project, and that is how the entire value proposition makes you more competitive than your other competitors. Moving on. So a lot of partners outside in the market, they tend to go horizontal, right? And instead of vertical. And the rationale behind it is more coverage of customers. But the reality is that when you send a general messaging to your customers, it doesn't resonate with them. I have seen a lot of partners who are pretty much horizontal. They think that if I cast a net, I'll be able to catch more customers just by sending a message that all within under the Dynamics 365 portfolio, we have been doing CRM, Business Central, ERP, human resource, everything. But they don't get the point that focus is all about getting the right customers. So you need vendors or partners who are specialists with a vertical focus. Now, before we dive into how we can help you identify the verticals and differentiate the value proposition, I thought it is important to understand why going vertical is important for you. So the first reason is why you should go for vertical or industry specialization is to avoid product commoditization. So I'm just trying to activate my splurb. Okay, so the first one is you need to avoid product commoditization, because many sectors and areas are becoming commoditized, right? And they are undifferentiated. Your competitors also have a very similar solution. They are also delivering the same solution. So you have to come up with something that is unique or expertise, and it's becoming very difficult to distinguish yourself in the market. So for example, you must be selling, let's say, the ERP. So you have to come up with some unique proposition which differentiates you versus the other competition. The second reason is when you have an industry specific solution, you gain more margin. So customers are willing to pay more for something that is tailored to their industry. For example, let's say you are coming up with a health management system or an app for the education. So come up with some specific solutions that caters to that industry. Especially after COVID, I can see outside in the market a lot of partners are let's say focusing on specific industries that is addressing the most pressing ongoing business demands. Now, and then we also see there is less price competition, because then you are not competing against horizontal product which has a generic price which is industry specific, leading to discounting. And then it also reduces churn, because then the customer looks at the solution which is specific to the industry, it meets their business needs, and it's not easy to just simply decommission or retire, and it moves to the next one. And we have also seen there is pretty good higher win rates when you have a vertical focus, because with higher win rates, which means there is less competition, and you are the only service solution delivery partner who is positioning and selling that solution up in the market. And when it comes to higher business valuation, over the long term, you will gain a higher business valuation, and then that leads to pretty good exposure to the business and good investment from other venture capitalists for your business. So in order to identify your verticals, you are not sure which industry or vertical to pick, you can always align with Microsoft's verticals. Now, Microsoft is a huge global vendor, right? We all know that. And they have their own solutions aligned for every specific industries, as shown in the right side. And the beauty of it is that every vertical has their own assets. So the way Microsoft has aligned their industries is that they have, if you can see the screen, they have verticals in the automation industry, they have energy-based solutions, they have solutions for the government, manufacturing, retail, and telecommunication. Now, the best part is that for every single vertical, they have assets, they have people who are dedicated in assisting partners and customers who are looking for solutions from commercially and even technically to drive that engagement. So for example, if you have customer who is looking for a solution in the education industry, they have So Microsoft has got resources who can engage with you to do a pre-sales demo. They have add-ons, they have accelerators, that kind of a fast tracks the entire engagement and delivery. They have a basic framework, that can be leveraged to design and build a solution that is inclined to that specific industry. So uh, so uh, so you so my the take here is that you cannot go wrong with the Microsoft strategy. So in order to support that, you can also do a research to see which are the verticals that are the most popular in the Dynamics 365 ecosystem. So the chart that you are seeing at the right side uh, are the ones that shows the most popular verticals in the D365 ecosystem. And it also shows the percentage of competition that focuses in those verticals. So once you have identified the vertical, the next task is to list down the challenges that the specific vertical is facing. Now, again, I would say do a bit of a research, find the statistics, infographics, disruptions, and issues that industry is facing. Once the challenges are mapped and identified, then the next step is defining a minimum viable product, MVP. Okay, that solves that challenge. I won't suggest spending months or years to building that, but just operational framework is good enough to be demonstrated. So for example, if you find that HR solutions are good in demand, but the ones that are available are way too expensive, they are complicated or they're clunky, you can quickly build a solution in Power Apps and present it to the prospects. I have seen with the upgoing popularity in Power Apps, a lot of partners are building a rapid application using Power Apps to cater to the industry. So once you have built the MVP, then try determining what is the emotional buying behavior in these industries. Try to find out what are the most prominent issues in these industries. Once you know that, you can then use that to come up with a use case to configure the product to demonstrate how that issue can be addressed through Dynamics 365. Come up with a demonstration scenario that you can templatize it and use it to go around showcasing it. Now, when I talk to few partners who are new in the Dynamics 365, they share their concern with us on there is a high risk and capital investment involved in building a Dynamics 365 practice with industry focus. And what I have got to say is that you do not need to take that high risk to begin your journey with industry focus. So what you can do is to keep selling what you are selling horizontally, which can be, for example, out of the box vanilla Dynamics 365 solution where there is not much customization required. So yeah, it's just a plug and play. So when you are selling horizontally, you can bundle, let's say, basic. I'm just giving you an example. You can just bundle basic setups. You can put some few basic workflows, dashboards that mostly are created out of the box. And once you are comfortable selling that, and then you can start getting customers in that cluster, and then you can find out what are the most pressing issues in that specific industry. So if you have been catering and delivering services for a specific industry, you will very well know what are the most challenging issues that industry is facing. For example, if you are, let's say, selling to educational industries, only you will surely know, you will come to know some of the business challenges that they have. For example, remote teaching is one of the challenges that we are facing right now. Or for example, law firms looking for law firm management system, then you can start thinking of building a solution where you consider that ISP solution are in the market and what resources we have in the market that can be leveraged. Until this stage, we have So until this stage, we haven't spent even a single money in development or coding. All we have done is selling out of the box solutions, right? And selling it to the with industry offers. Then once you get a little bit comfortable, then you can start building an IP and building where you build your own new applications to fill the gap in the industry. And there's where resources might be required. You spend some time, and based on my previous slide, what I was saying was that create a skeleton model of your IP. You don't have to spend months in building that. It doesn't have to be perfect. The objective is you demonstrate that IP so that you are sending the message to your customer that you understand their requirements, and you have a basic running application that can be modified and enhanced. So if you are an existing business, you can focus on advanced specializations like artificial intelligence, IoT, machine learning to leverage the business apps portfolio, right? So this is more about creating your own industry-based assets. So under the create industry-specific assets, um, it's all about creating your assets, content, and bill of material to help you launch your industry solution that educates that can educate your customer. So we don't want to come up with very generic industry white papers, but we would like to talk more specifically about the industry. What is the market doing about it, for example, or what are the solutions that are and funds that are available, or what are the add-ons and plugins that have been sold by Microsoft and has been, sorry, not sold, but released by Microsoft to address that specific industry. And the best part is that most of the solutions that are positioned by Microsoft for specific industries are free of cost. They're free to use. So you can use those solutions to come up with a demonstration for a POC, demonstrate it to the customer, gain their confidence, and win the opportunity. So the last one is, once you have created your assets, the next point is, if you have an IP or a solution, you can publish that in Microsoft's marketplace, um, and even in App Source, and even we have within Ingram Micro, we have a ISP marketplace, over basically, which is a platform where we sell such third-party, we engage with vendors to sell their IPs and solutions to gain popularity. We sell it to our partner channel to help them gain popularity, and a lot of partners also engage and buy those solutions through our platform. So this is a few ways how you can identify the verticals and differentiate yourself. Moving on. So the 2021 best business scenarios to demonstrate Dynamics 365. So what I've done in this slide is I picked up some of the, let's say, so I'm focusing on Business Central and Sales Professional. So Business Central is the ERP for small, medium-sized businesses, for those partners who are not familiar with Business Central. And Sales Professional is the CRM. Okay. Now, what I've done is I've handpicked certain scenarios that are quite popular that will help you win opportunities when you're demonstrating these applications. So the first one, so what I've done is I split the scenarios in three ways. The first one is from a collaboration perspective. The second one is from a productivity perspective, and then the third one is from an impact perspective. Okay, so when it comes to collaboration, when you are talking about, or when you're demonstrating Business Central with teams, you are talking about response, how you can respond at a speed of the business. Okay, so what you can do is you can guide and collaborate with, so you can talk about how you can use Business Central and Teams to guide and collaborate with customers and colleagues and vendors remotely. And you can also do a meeting, you can chat, you can do calls, and you can even collaborate with within the Teams workspace and seamlessly share records between Teams and Business Central and the information and vice versa. So we are talking about collaboration here. The second one you can touch base is between sales professional and team. So you can use that scenario to uncover insights about the customer. So you can use the insights, which is a different solution of feature where customers can understand and gain some understanding of their customer. It's a BI intelligence tool, and which is basically the best path forward for forecasting and for growth. And customers can also get a current and accurate reporting inside Teams, including forecasts and KPIs. And a change, for example, a change made to the customer quote in the quote field is instantly reflected in the sales forecast back at the office. So pick this scenario and you can demonstrate that to your customer, and that creates that wow feeling from the customer when you see the collaboration happening between teams. And the best part is you don't have to move from one app to another. Everything seamlessly integrated in one single platform. The second one you can use is you can increase collaboration across the sales team. So in Dynamics 365, you can demonstrate how customers can view their customers' records that are actually embedded within the Teams panel, showing relevant charts, channels, and the people, right? And even the chat sessions. So you can start or continue a conversation without leaving the customer record. So, and then you can also demonstrate how you can collaborate on the go. You can get a consistent experience across all your devices and secure single sign-on to calendar, emails, file, collaborations, tools, and business processes right in Office 365. So within Office 365, you have Dynamics also that is again integrated with the Office 365 tools, Excel, PowerPoint, and SharePoint. So under productivity, what I've done is that I have again come up with Business Central collaboration with Teams, integration with Teams, where you can talk about how they can stay focused and be productive with this integration. So with the embedded Teams experience in Dynamics 365, you can see chats, channels, and people related to a customer record, or you can even start a conversation without leaving Dynamics 365. So you can also demonstrate, you can even see how customers can see suggested actions to help close deals. So Business Central is quite intuitive, and it gives you suggestions and how you can proceed and take the next action. You can also demonstrate the integration between Business Central and Outlook. And trust me, this is one of the features that is most popular among among customers. So you can take action, you can demonstrate by taking action in the app you're using instead of switching between a stand-alone software. So you can set up customers or vendors, and you can demonstrate creating a quote or process orders and submitting invoices without leaving the Outlook inbox. And you can also demonstrate how Office adds value. You can connect from almost anywhere to key business data like customer details, product information, and order status. So even if you don't have internet, you can work offline between Business Central and Outlook, and then you can get a comprehensive view of your business with an up-to-date data, including sales performance, purchasing, and inventory. So, for example, you can make changes to inventory automatically on the fly by updating purchasing and planning systems. So that is all real time, and so you can based on those lines you can demonstrate between Business Central and Outlook. The other one is you can even demonstrate how Business Central is integrated with Excel, where you can import and work with data in Excel and publish edited information back to Dynamics 365 Business Central. And you can edit the data in Excel, which is all in real time, and it reflects immediately in Business Central records. From an impact perspective, again, you can demonstrate to create that impact. You can demonstrate Business Central and Outlook so customers can stay focused on people instead of processes, right? So customers can get Business Central capabilities right within Outlook. So you can demonstrate that within a few clicks. While they're checking their email, they can surface information about a customer and create quotes with line items suggested by, let's say, an AI or artificial intelligence feature that is embedded in Business Central. Similarly, you can demonstrate sales professional and with OneDrive or SharePoint. So your talking point should be on information that is available at fingertips, since Dynamics 365 Sales Professional supports full document management via OneDrive for business and SharePoint. Similarly, sales team can store documents on SharePoint and manage them from within D365 Sales. And documents can be created in the Sales Professional and stored in SharePoint, or you can even use OneDrive for business, and are automatically synced to desktop and mobile devices. And the last one is you can demonstrate again the way you demonstrated Business Central with Outlook. You can demonstrate Sales Professional also with Outlook. Again, the talking lines can be how they can respond faster and better by talking advantage of contextual information. For example, they can see contextual data, sales data and history while reading or composing emails directly within Outlook. So these are some of the demonstration scenarios that we came up with. You can use that if you need more information. We are more than happy to provide you more information on how you can demonstrate these scenarios. We might be having a few recording sessions that you can leverage to learn. Maybe they might be in the form of tutorial guides, white papers, or literature to help you guide on those business scenarios. Okay. So as Fab mentioned earlier, so this is the question to help you win the lunch vouchers. The question is, how much incentive do you get when you add a new customer? Is it 10%, 20%, or is it 30%? So just to give you a tip, this is based on one of the slides that was covered by Fabiano. He did mention the percentage. So if you know the answer, I'll give you a few seconds. If you know the answer, put that in the chat panel and the winners will be notified via email. So I'll just give a few minutes. So we are getting few answers. So the national partners based out of Australia will be notified, and I know that there are few international partners also joining. So my counterparts from their local country will be notifying you if you are part of, let's say, if you're based out of New Zealand or Singapore, you will be notified if you are the winners. So I'm getting few answers. I'll just give a few minutes more. Okay, cool. Okay, so my colleague is mentioning that we received a lot of answers. So they will be notified via email who is the winner. So the answer to the question is 20%. Okay, so congratulations to those who have answered it correctly. You were right. I would say you were attentive enough to answer the question correctly. Let's move on. So that brings us to the end of the webinar. We still have 10 minutes before we conclude the webinar. We'll leave this time for potential questions. So please feel free to ask us any question if you have. More than happy to address your queries. So I'll give a few minutes. I'll go on mute and wait for anyone who has any question, and see if we can address it. Yeah, so I have a question asking that is it possible to get recording of part 1 and part 2, which I have missed out? So yes, we can send you the recordings of part 1 and part 2. So this webinar series was structured based on the Better Together motion, and this was our last series, part 3. We can definitely share the all the recordings are loaded in YouTube. So if you visit Ingram Micro Australia's playlist, you will be able to access them. But nonetheless, I can, or one of my colleagues can share those recordings also with you. So I have a question asking, we needed more questions on Sales Professional plus M365. I'm not really sure what exactly is the question, but if we can take this offline, just to get some more clarity from you. What exactly are you asking? If you need some assistance in Sales Professional plus M365, if you are asking how the collaboration works, I can definitely work with you to give you more insights on the collaboration and the way we are positioning the motion. And so we have some sales assets and resources that we can readily share with you to engage you in that space. So there's a question, have you talked about staff scheduling? So staff scheduling, so there is completely staff scheduling, or in other words, it's called resource scheduling, is a add-on that complements the base applications under the Dynamics 365 portfolio. So to answer your question, no, we haven't spoken that. So that's more skew towards the business application portfolio. Maybe we can cover another session or webinar talking about how the resource scheduling add-on or plugin works and the way it complements sales professional field service, and based on the popularity, definitely we can cover that topic as well, if that answers your question. So I have another question. One of the partners is asking that they are silver partner, but they do not have access to Business Central subscription. Okay, so Mr. Partner, there are a few ways how you can gain access to Business Central subscription. The first option is either you can purchase the licenses for internal usage. Usually I advise my partners that's the first way how you should, if you are planning to embark in the Business Central space, that's the first way how you can set up the practice, buy the license and start using it. Once you understand the application, then you can go out and demonstrate it to your customer. Then you are in a better position to talk about its strengths and how it can be well positioned. Now, in order to acquire those licenses, the first is either you purchase the license, or second is Microsoft also issues a free Business Central licenses. As I said, it's free of cost, and it is called as internal user rights. So under the IUR, if you are a silver partner, you are entitled for 15 Business Central licenses free of cost, but you need to have the silver competency. And if you are a gold partner, then you are entitled for 25 free Business Central licenses. So you can use that. You are not charged for that, and you can leverage that entitlement program from Microsoft. I hope I have answered your question. So you have checked the benefits. I can send you a URL that takes you straight away to Partner Center, where you can see if you are entitled for that specific competency. Yeah, so I can send you some details on the resource scheduling, which works with Dynamics. Perhaps just drop me an email, and we can take it from there. So my email address is on the screen. We can talk further from there. So there's another question. Any chance of getting list of training that we have to go through to become consultants? So yes, we have learning paths, and there are quite a few workshops and training programs that we have outlined. There are a lot of training programs that are outlined just to impart Dynamics 365 fundamentals, where if based on your focus, so if you are focusing CRM, there's a completely separate dedicated resources to help you upskill in CRM. And then if your focus is oils, if your focus is ERP, there's a different learning program. I can share the details. And similarly, if your focus is Power Apps, there are certain certifications that you can leverage to upskill. So we have a dedicated training program that we have designed in Ingram Micro that can walk you through the entire trainings based on your vision, how you want to structure yourself. We can walk you through the entire program. So yeah, get in touch with me or Fabiana, and we can provide you more details on that. So there's a question: what license do I need to schedule shift workers? So there's a license there's a license called resource scheduling add-on up in our marketplace that caters to that specific requirement. So as I said, drop me an email and I can give you more information on that. Okay, I have a question asking, have you got a video link I can send to my customer to demonstrate resource scheduling? Yeah, definitely. I have. There should be a video link demonstrating the add-on. I can send that to you. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay, I guess that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. I guess we have already crossed our webinar by 3 minutes. I'm so sorry for taking your time. And as I said, please drop us if you have any additional questions. The email address is mentioned on the screen. Thank you so much for attending our webinar session. Like to give you all have a good day. Let's wrap up from now.
Hey, Sunny, let me say one last point here. Guys, please, if you have any opportunity, don't be shy. Bring it to us. We are here to help you. When you engage with us, we never lose an opportunity. Call us, send an email to us. We will help you. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.